We're at Day Player now. We have a segment called The Day Player, which is where I talk about stories where I was an extra. I have extra friends that we might bring on the podcast at some point to talk about their stories as well.
Yes.
But that's the idea. The Day Player is when you go into something for a day and you're gone. You know, that's right. On film sets, that's what they call them.
And then I'm going to interview him on on what's the extra life, being an extra.
Okay, cool. So wherever you want to start, man. I got a lot of stories.
So, what's the biggest film you've done as an extra?
Biggest film I've done is Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And how's that?
Okay, so we'll try to keep one story per episode because the episodes are
long. So Birds of Prey, it's been recently out. What's the main cast?
Margot Robbie and a bunch of other people. I forgot their names.
It's a pretty huge film. It's a DC film.
Yeah.
And so you were an extra. Yeah, you were an extra.
Yeah.
So how did you get this as a role? Yeah.
So there's a thing called Extras Casting. I think that's what their name is. But it's in Burbank area. You go and you sign up. You get your picture taken, and they send it to casting directors. And then they send it to a bunch of people. Then they find out who they want or they need. Usually they group you.
So it's like an agency.
Yeah, it's like an agency. And they group you in. Usually it's like, oh, we need a bunch of Latinos. So it's like, oh, hey, he's Latino. He fits the height requirement they want. Right. He looks okay. So let's send him there. Let's say they want something specific. There's other times where it's like I've got on a role because there was a person that I kind of looked like they needed to replace. So they got me for that. We'll talk about that another time. But as far as Birds of Prey, I think they just needed bodies. They just needed a lot of people, and I just happened to be lucky enough to be called. They called me. They're like, hey, we're doing this thing. Here's the name of it. They didn't tell you it was Birds of Prey. They gave it like some dumb fucking name. And they're like, are you available? I'm like, yes. So I had in my mind, I'm like, is this the DC film? Like, this might be a big movie.
Do you know what's the film? Like, what's the title they gave you? You forgot?
I have it somewhere probably. And so they were like, okay. So I showed up the next day because that's how extras work usually works. You get a call the day before saying, hey, can you be here tomorrow at 6 a.m. and it's like 9 p.m. right now or like 10 p.m. I'm like, shit. All right, fine. I gotta go sleep and pack right now. And so because it might be an hour away, it might be 20 minutes away, but you gotta be there like exactly at 6 o'clock or else they're gonna call you late and they're mad. So I got up and I did the whole thing. I got they said like wear some summer clothes. It's hot and I'm like, okay, cool. So I packed a bunch of shorts and like shirts like this, and then I went and I went. There was a bunch of people. It was a cattle call. They had like just hundreds of people there, and the scene that we shot, it's not even a scene. It's like a little blip where like Harley Quinn's going around like this like roller rink. I don't know if you remember that.
I haven't even watched the movie.
You haven't watched the movie?
Yeah,
okay,
so
it was pretty cool. Like it was like she basically does like a lap with a bunch of like roller skaters. Like those female roller skaters, and like they're beating each other up.
Oh, that's dope.
And she beats up a bunch of people. It's pretty funny. I think it was like a brief, like quick thing, right? But we're there, and I think we did like 12 hours that day.
Jesus Christ! The whole you're there. You're at the set for 12 hours.
Yeah, I think we went from like about 6 in the morning to about like 7 or 8 at night. So maybe like 13 hours. But like there's like a meal period.
Right.
So it's like an extra hour.
Yeah, it's a lunch break. Your lunch break.
Yeah. And it was pretty cool. Like I was chilling out. My friend Jay Mossman, shout out to Jay, he was there too. We did an extra work together, and it was really dope. So we were like, I was like, I wonder what movie this is. I don't know yet. But then I remember I went to so what you do is you get there, you sign in. Of course, there's a bunch of people, so there's like a bunch of like PAs or personal assistants. But PAs do everything,
right?
And so they usually get them to do the grunt work, which is like sign in all the extras,
right?
Because we had to fill out paperwork, do the whole thing, in case you didn't know how that works. And there's a huge line. I get in, like, here's my name. I was like, here's your sheet where you fill it out and you send it to the company, and the company then, you don't ship it, you return it to them, and then they fill out the paperwork on their end, and then you get a check within like a week or two,
right?
And so I did that, and then I went to the costume department, and the costume guy was really cool. He's like, oh, hey, because sometimes you can dress in the costume they want.
Right.
And they like that because they don't have to go through your whole fucking wardrobe. So what I try to do is I try to wear what I think looks good and what they're looking for. Sometimes you want to look bad because that's what they want.
Right.
So let's say I was like on Mayans, and they wanted me to look like some greaser, right? So you got to wear like something like messed up, but like rough looking enough. So you have to go into it thinking that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this thing I didn't know, other than they said like it's summer, make it look, it's hot, So I'm like, okay,
so
I wear my shorts.
Top and shorts.
I think I wore this shirt, if not another shirt, my Batman shirt.
Oh God.
No, I think I was wearing my PS4 shirt. Actually.
Oh, okay.
My PlayStation, whatever. And so I went there, and they're like, hey, yeah, you actually look good. It's like, let's see what else you got just in case. And then they looked at my clothes and all this stuff, and I brought a suitcase where I carry all my clothes because that's one of the easiest ways. People carry like hangers and stuff.
Right.
But I don't like dealing with hangers, so
so you have to carry it.
Yeah, it's a whole fucking thing. So I brought my suitcase, and they're like, okay, cool. And he looks at it, and he's like, oh, this is great. I like what you're wearing. It's a hot day in hot summer month in Gotham City, so you actually look really good. So we're gonna let you go through. I was like, cool. So I walked away. I'm like, so it is Gotham. So I'm like, what are we filming?
So he's like, oh, this is DC.
Like, and then like as soon as he had said that, I think he was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said it. But I was like, yeah. So I walked up and I'm like, and I find my friend Jay and we hang out, and there's like usually there's like these trailers they pack you into. They call them the ice box, I think, or lunchbox or whatever.
Right.
It's usually where you go and you eat and you sit and you wait.
Right.
There's a bunch of tables. Sometimes they make you stay in a tent, which is kind of like whatever. But this one was really cool, and it had air conditioning, which is great. I always prefer air conditioning.
Well, was it during the summer?
I think it was I forgot when they were filming it, but it was like when they like a month into filming, I think, because they filmed for like 3 or 4 months, I think.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't the summer, but it's like getting there. So like probably like May.
So like around
April-ish.
80s, 90s.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that hot. And so we're in this lunchbox, and like we wait until like another PA or AD, which is an assistant director, and I think it's like second AD is the one who deals with the background extras.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a director, then there's an assistant director, then I think there was a first AD, then there's a second AD. So there's like guys below each other, and they have different tasks. Like an AD might get all the actors ready,
right,
and get everybody on set and where they need to go. Then the second AD deals with all the extras.
Right.
On a different film set, there's not as much crew. You might have just a first AD who does all that. And so
but it's a big production, so
it's a big production. Yeah, they waste a lot of money.
Yeah,
there are like hundreds of people, and I'm getting paid at least like, I mean, like a regular day's work. If you own like, there's a thing where like, if you only work 8 hours, or like let's say there's a 8-hour minimum, you don't have to work those 8 hours, but you have to get paid for the 8 hours.
Right.
So like, let's say I show up on set and I'm there for like 30 minutes and I leave because we're done. I get paid for the full 8 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
So which is like usually like I think it's like $100 something. It was about like $12. I think it's like $13.50 now.
$12 an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like $13 an hour now.
Okay.
I think
15.
13.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been going up a little.
Yeah,
bit.
that's
So might have gone up an extra
that's
$1.
the minimum wage of the law in California.
Yeah. The minimum. Okay. Yeah. They're not paying you.
No, they're not paying $15.
This is for non-union members. So there's a union called SAG.
Yeah. Screen
Actors Guild, and when you're with SAG, you pay like $3,000 up front, and then you get more benefits. You might not get as much jobs because there's only so many SAG spots they have to fill. Otherwise, they wouldn't even bother. But
and then they really get the non-union, so you won't get
because you don't have to pay them as much. I think SAG is like $20 an hour, like $21 an hour. Yeah, so it's not bad. It's pretty good.
It's not bad at all.
I've been thinking about getting it because they have like full dental and health and all that stuff. Yeah, like, insurance is really great.
Is it easy to sign up?
No. So when you're when you're non-union, you enter in. You get your little vouchers. Usually it's a blue voucher, which means it's non-union. And then like let's say you get lucky, you're on a show. It's like, oh hey, we needed some union people, but we didn't want to hire somebody, so we're going to give you a union voucher today, which is a yellow one. Now you got your first union voucher. What you need to do to get into SAG is you need 3. So
it's like a video game.
Yeah, it's exactly like a video game. So you need at least 3 to get in, and you need $3,000 up front.
$3,000
to get into the union.
Jesus.
But then you
pay your dues. Yeah, you pay your dues.
And then like I think every month, like my friend said, you pay like $100 a month for your medical. But it's like one of the best insurances
out
there, so you can like get your teeth.
But you still need to get your work right.
Yeah. So I am SAG eligible, which means I can join the union if I want to.
Right.
Because when I first started, my first job was Silicon Valley, and they gave me all 3. I think they gave me like 4 union vouchers actually.
Oh Jesus!
Like, cause I worked almost every day on that show. That's a different story for another day. But this day, I was still non-union. I'm on union. I'm not getting paid as much. But like I said, if I'm only there for 8 hours, if I'm there for like an hour, I get paid the full day anyways. I'm totally cool with that. You know what I mean? I prefer getting less than 8 hours, like in. You know what I mean? Like you get some lunch, then you're out. You know. But sometimes they're like no, they'll keep you for 8 hours just to make sure.
Right.
They didn't use you for anything else, and they're like, okay, we're not paying them more, so let them loose. That's happened to me before. I'll get into that too. But so this day was cool. So we're going around, and like I'm chilling with my friend, and then like the AD comes in, the second AD, and he's like, hey guys, we need you guys, you, and you. Can you guys come with me? We're gonna put you on there, and then we enter this like warehouse that's like right next door to the lunch boxes, like a bunch of them. And there's this big warehouse, and inside it must have been empty, but they had put like a full skating rink in there.
Oh shit!
With like the chain fence to block us from the action, because obviously they're going around,
right? And
there's like these sketch stands, these stands that they had to stand on, like these like little like a
football fields,
field,
high school football field.
Very sketch, like huge gaps.
Oh jeez.
But it was fine. So my friend and I, we got lucky because we can go in together, and they put us in the same spot, and we're like, okay, cool. And so the whole day, they're getting ready, and then like I see Margot Robbie. It's not Margot Robbie. My friend and I were arguing. It was her stunt double.
Yeah.
Who was doing the roller skating with her. Then Margot Robbie actually comes up, and my friend and I were actually in this huge conversation. Like, is that Margot Robbie? Is it not her? Because she's like wearing a helmet, I think, at some points, and like they kind of look very similar. Right. Obviously, it's her stunt double, so they have to look the same. But I was like, okay, let me put my Margot Robbie glasses on. Let's see if I can divine which one's which. I mean, we were just being funny, you know.
Right.
Like we're not being creepy for the sake of being creepy. We're being creepy because it's funny.
Like, oh, look at her tits. Yeah.
No, we were just being weird, but like for the sake of being funny. So like we were overly exaggerating. It was like funny because we had, like I said, at least 13 hours here. 1 hour for lunch, 12 hours just straight up filming.
That's right. They give you 2 hour lunch. Because if you work more than 8 hours, you're supposed to get your 2 hour lunch.
They count breakfast. As soon as you get there, it doesn't count
That's
against
bullshit.
the money. No, you come. No, it's great because they have like so like mostly on sets they have a bunch of like a full catering thing, and sometimes if you're lucky, they have like food out. Like they have a vendor making food, and you can go and get food. Like one of my favorite things on set is when I go in the morning. It's like nice and cold. It's like it's like 4 or 5 or 6 in the morning, because you have to go there in the morning to get any food, right? You go and like they're like, oh, the breakfast guy is like all the food later, and there's like a box just full, not a box, but like a little thing, and there's like just full of fucking breakfast burritos. Oh. And it's like eggs and bacon. It's got some other good stuff. It's got some rice in it, dude. And I'm like, yeah. And I grab one, and I'm like, yes. You know, they're like, all right, make sure you guys get your breakfast in. All right, cool. Now we're gonna go to set now. And I'm like, fucking stuffing a burrito down my fucking face. And yeah, so that's what happened this day, I think, because it was very early. They had just food, and there's like usually like a catering section where you can go and get snacks, drinks. There are sometimes they are finicky about things where it's like you have to be union to eat on this table.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, but I mean I get it. You know, they get more privileges than we do. Sometimes crew gets really mad at union though. This is just an insider tip. If you're union, don't tell the crew. I mean you can. They'll probably know, but then like sometimes they're assholes because like you're getting paid more than they are to be there.
Right.
And technically they're crew, and so they'll take advantage of you. I remember one time I was on set, and I'll talk about it in like later, where they had to call the union, the person, because the crew was being like fucked up to a union member. And I think he or she had to call the union, and then the union called the people who were running the set.
Yeah.
And they had to have a whole fucking conversation with all the union and the crew.
Wow.
That's union and everybody. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you guys are fine. You know, you can eat from here. Yeah. I'll get into it later. But
wow, this is like some shit.
So I've been an extra for about like a year and a half, I think. And I recently stopped because of the coronavirus and all that stuff. But
yeah. Even before they halted
all filming even a little bit before that. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And so this day we go in, I eat my food, and we're waiting, and we're like, my friend and I are joking, and nothing really much happens other than they film segments of it, and then they film some of the crews. I mean, some of the extras, and we're like, yeah, and we're filming 12 hours. 12 hours or just that. Jeez. And I think it amounts to about like 4 seconds worth of footage.
Yeah, I bet. I bet like 30 seconds and that's it.
I don't even think you see me or anybody. Like it's literally just like a quick shot of her like punching someone in the face, and that's about it. But that's how they filmed all day, you know, and that's how film sets go, because like they edit it down later.
Yeah.
But that's why I think like they spend so much money. Like they're paying me like I think like for 12 hours, I think it's like almost $200 for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and there were hundreds of people. So that's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's like almost like $500,000.
No, I think it's probably 100,000, maybe 200,000. I don't know. They spent a lot of money. Let's put it that way. They spent a lot of money for only 4 seconds worth of footage. It was cool though. I had a great time.
Yeah, when you realize like, fuck, they're doing this for all that.
Yeah, and I think there's one segment where like we get mad for some reason. So they gave us like there's this like prop guy who's going out, like he's got like a bunch of like paper balls and like things like fake food and stuff like to throw out on the ring. So like at one point I think like Harley gets knocked out, or like Harley knocks someone out. I don't know. We're like, boom, we're supposed to throw this shit. So like Jay and I would like get really into it. Like, whoa, and like we're like trying to hit people. It's like funny. I mean you're too far to actually like get a direct hit. These paper balls are like, they're really light, so they don't travel far. So like we were trying to see who could throw it farther. So we were like really putting our arm into it, and then we're like, boo, boo, and then poor prop guy has to go and collect all the prop between each take.
Right.
There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of the
But there's like no broom and
yeah, they had like brooms and stuff too,
Right.
where they could, but usually they would have to like reach into like.
Oh,
below
so
the
they won't
stands.
mess it up, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd grab it like, okay, here you guys go, grab one again, and then like, so what I ended up doing, and it's not against the rules because like never did they say you can't keep this. I kept one of the paper balls.
No way.
Yeah, it's upstairs right now. I wrote Birds of Prey, and I don't know if I wrote my name on it, but yeah, I kept it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's a little memento of like my day on Birds of Prey, and it's really sick. It's really cool. I can't say much about the story. I think they make us sign like non-disclosure agreements, sort of.
Right.
But the movie's already out.
Yeah, I mean, people were probably watching.
I'm
it by
not giving
time.
out a spoiler. It's
No.
nothing. Who cares? And that's my thing. I'm gonna try to stick away from spoilers when I do this stuff, just because.
Because you were
Like
there.
comedy.
Because you were there
Yeah.
at that time, so you don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And so they filmed a lot, and the director was, I think, is a woman. I think it's a Asian woman. I think I forgot her name, but she was really cool. She's very nice. She talked to all of us on like a speakerphone.
Oh, that's
She
cool.
was really cool. She's like, "Thank you guys. You guys were so lovely." Like things like that, you know. And that's nice. It's nice when you get on the set and like you can, like, you know, you're an extra. You know, you really don't matter in the grand scheme of things as far as like the film goes. But
Right.
like, it's cool and they're thankful. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, cool. You know.
Yeah, it's Cassie Yang.
Yeah, she was really cool. Very small lady, but she was really cool.
Okay, she seems cool.
Yeah, she was really dope. Margot Robbie was very nice. I mean, she was like in the headspace of like trying to be like Harley Quinn at that moment. Like, you
Right.
could see her like, like jumping up and down.
Right,
get
trying
into
to get pumped up, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. And so it
That's all actors.
was a very smooth shooting segment, and it was very fun, and I had a great time with it, and it was, and I got a lot of money. I got like 200.
Yeah, just for 12 hours of work. Yeah,
12
that
hours,
seems reasonable.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
cool.
you know, if I had been union, I would have got a lot more. But, you know,
Right.
You know, fuck it.
Right.
But yeah, it was really fun, and that's like the biggest movie I think I've been in. I've been in a movie with Ben Affleck. I've been in a couple other movies, and we'll talk about those next week. You know.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I think that'll be good for the podcast is to
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
think
like, highlight stories
people
we have.
people want to know what's behind the scenes. For
and
me,
hopefully at some point we can start filming again. I mean, as far as like big production goes, and I can do extra work again.
right, and
I
I
can have
probably will
some
do some
work.
extra work because I've never done it.
It's not that hard. You just got to set central casting. Central casting is the name.
Central casting. Do
Yeah.
I had to be there?
You have to go to central casting. You have to sign up, and you have to get your photo taken, and then that's about it. I mean,
Oh.
there's like paperwork they make you sign, and they give you like a whole lecture because I guess some people are just stupid,
Right.
do whatever they want. But yeah, once you sign up for central casting, you're set. You can go into the central casting. They have like a job like on Facebook, and then you sign up, and then they'll post job notices, and you can like submit.
Oh,
yourself.
okay. And then
Um,
they'll call you. It's like, oh,
yeah.
look, try this one.
Yeah, sometimes they'll call you directly. Sometimes you'll submit, and then they'll call you, or you'll call the submission, and then they'll pick up. And sometimes you can't. And this is what I did. I had people actually doing it for me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I didn't want to submit every day because that takes forever, and people do it. People will spend hours just trying to submit on sets of other things to get more work.
Oh wow.
I didn't feel like doing that, so I paid like about like $80 a month for like a company to do it for me.
So again, like
Yeah.
more like an agency.
Yeah, it's
You know,
an
like, oh, I got found this role. You know.
Yeah, and like the central casting is more like a depository.
Mm-hmm. But you
So
still have
everyone has to go through.
But do you have to pay?
No,
pay
central casting is completely free.
Oh, okay.
Extras management, the people I had before, they did it for me.
But you
They
have
were
to.
good for the most part, but sometimes I wouldn't get work, and I would get really mad. I'm just like, well, like, why am I paying? You know,
Yeah, $80.
I
that's
got
all.
I like one job, and I still have to pay the full thing. There's like a different thing where like it's like the amount of jobs you get is how much you have to pay, and so like sometimes it's like, oh, if you get like more than 2 jobs, I think you have to pay the full rate. So it's like half your check goes to them, and
Oh,
that's why
wow.
I was kind of like, no, thanks.
No,
but
yeah,
you know, but
that's not
especially
worth it.
during like quarantine, I was like, nah. I stopped them for a while ago, so I didn't get as much jobs after I quit them. So I might go back to another agency, or just start submitting myself. I have a friend named Justin. He's a white guy. He gets casted all the fucking time, and he never submits.
Well, you gotta say he's a white guy.
Because he knows that's why he gets all these jobs, and I get mad because he gets the good shit. There's this show on Apple called For All Mankind, and it's all about like the space race,
Okay.
and they only have like white dudes, and he gets cast in it all the time, and I'm like, fuck you, Justin.
You heard that, Justin? Fuck you.
Fuck you, Justin. No, I'm just kidding. He's cool.
Shout out to Justin.
Shout out to Justin. No, but I don't know. He probably never watched this, but you know. Maybe. I don't know. He's my friend. I talk to him.
You never
So
know. You never
I
know.
think so. Thank you guys for joining us.